I seriously can't remember the last time that Rocket Lab had such a busy week. And if you're trying to get all caught up, this video is for you. Welcome to Space Lab. This week, Rocket Lab announced their third quarter 2022 financial results conference call for November 9th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Rocket Lab has also for the first time opened up a public Q&A platform where verified retail and institutional shareholders can submit and upvote questions. A selection of these questions will be answered during the earnings call. This week, Rocket Lab delivered the final solar panels that will fly on the power and propulsion element for NASA's Gateway Lunar Space Station. The Gateway Lunar Space Station is an international collaboration to establish humanity's first space station in lunar orbit. The orbiting outpost will include docking ports for a variety of spacecraft and room for a crew to live and work. The power and propulsion element is a high-power solar electric propulsion spacecraft that will provide power, high-rate communications, altitude control, and orbital transfer capabilities. The solar panels incorporate Rocket Lab's quadruple junction Z4J solar cells, which exhibit 30% minimum average conversion efficiency at the beginning of life. For comparison, the most efficient silicone-based rooftop solar panels on the market claim an efficiency of just over 22%. Conversion efficiency is a percentage of solar energy that is converted into actual usable electricity. Rocket Lab's C4J cells exhibit superior radiation hardness and temperature performance when compared to other space-grade germanium-based solar cells. Rocket Lab will also provide the power to the Orion spacecraft that will carry astronauts from Earth to lunar orbit. These will now be 3 different ways in which Rocket Lab is supporting the Artemis program. This week, Rocket Lab also announced that it has been selected by Inmarsat government as partner to develop and manufacture an L-band radio in support of NASA's Communications Services Project, or CSP. CSP seeks to accelerate the development of commercial near-Earth communication services by partnering with satellite communications, or SATCOM, providers. As NASA prepares to decommission the agency's owned and operated Tracking and Data Relay Satellite System, or TDRSS system, the CSP aims to tap into commercial satellite communication services to ensure future NASA missions have similar reliable, secure, and high-performance space relay capabilities. Frontier L joins Rocket Lab's existing line of radios, which can support near-Earth and deep space missions. On Friday, Rocket Lab successfully launched its 32nd Electron mission to deploy its 152nd satellite to orbit, a science payload for the Swedish National Space Agency. The Catch Me If You Can mission also resulted in a successful ocean splashdown of Electron rocket's first stage. Rocket Lab had initially planned to attempt a mid-air capture of Electron's first stage with a helicopter if conditions allowed. This was Rocket Lab's second attempt at catching the booster. Due to a brief telemetry loss with Electron's first stage during re-entry, the helicopter was moved out of the capture zone for safety. The ability to catch and reuse electrons would save the company a lot of money and would place them on a quicker path to profitability. Some have asked if it's really worth it to continue to try, but the cost savings would really offset any costs related to air operations. In yet another milestone, Catch Me If You Can was Rocket Lab's 9th mission of the year, making this the most missions that Rocket Lab has ever completed in a single year. Rocket Lab remains on track to launch mission number 10, this time out of Wallops, Virginia. This will be the first U.S. soil-based mission out of their brand new launch complex too. And if all of this wasn't enough, at the same time that the launch was occurring today, Rocket Lab kicked off operations for testing the Archimedes engine with a ribbon-cutting ceremony at NASA's Stennis Space Center in Mississippi. This 10-year agreement with the Stennis Space Center will see the A3 test stand and about 24 surrounding acres incorporated into the Archimedes test complex. Rocket Lab expects to begin construction in the Archimedes test complex by building 2 new horizontal engine test cells for single engine testing. They also envision building an additional test cell with the capability to test individual engine components. During the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Rocket Lab was quoted as saying that they hope to begin making noise on the test stand by next summer. This does call into question where they're going to begin their pre-burner tests for the Archimedes engine, which is scheduled to begin next month. Hopefully we'll have an answer to this and many of the questions on the Q&A platform next week on the earnings call. Don't forget to register for the ER call next week and also for the Q&A platform so you can submit your own questions or upvote the ones that are of interest to you. I'll leave the links for you in the description. I hope you're all caught up now in the very busy week that Rocket Lab has had. Thanks for listening.